Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India, India's voice to the world. This is Sports Pass with me, Deepika, and coming up in the next half an hour. Manchester City on the verge of becoming first team in English football history to win 4 successive top-flight titles as they move to the final day. Manchester United, Chelsea to be in action tonight against Newcastle and Brighton respectively. Rajasthan Royals qualify for IPL playoff after Lucknow loses to Delhi Capitals. Rajasthan all set to face Punjab Kings today with an eye on improving their net run rate. And BCCI announces schedule for South Africa Women's All-Format Tour of India 2024 that begins from the 16th of June in Bengaluru. Schedule include tests, T20s and ODIs. ODIs will be a part of ICC Women's Championship 2022-25. So those were the top headlines of the hour that we're tracing for all our viewers here on Sports Buzz. And to begin with the latest from the world of football. Erling Haaland's double put Manchester City within touching distance of an unprecedented 4th successive Premier League title as they beat Tottenham Hotspur by 2-0 on Tuesday. The Norwegian tapped home his side's opener early in the second half and settled City's nerves in stoppage time when he blasted home a penalty for his 27th league goal of the season. City had failed to earn a point or score a goal in their first 4 league visits to Tottenham's new stadium, but ended that jinx in timely fashion to the joy of their supporters. Pep Guardiola's City have 88 points to Arsenal's 86 and will be guaranteed to become the first side to win 4 English titles in a row if they beat West Ham United at home on coming Sunday, when Arsenal must beat Everton and hope for the best. It was far from a vintage City performance and they were indebted to a couple of crucial saves by substitute keeper Stefan Ortega in the second half. Manager Erik ten Hag said Lisandro Martinez could play his first game for Manchester United since the month of March in their Premier League match against Newcastle United on Wednesday. Now, Hag added that Rashford, Bruno Fernandes and Willy Kampala will be assessed to determine if they are fit to return from injury. Raphael Varane will not be fit but may return on Sunday. Ten Hag then hopes to have the French defender match ready for the FA Cup final against ManCity on the 25th of May. Manchester United, 8th in the standings with 54 points, need to close that gap to qualify for the Europa Conference League. Newcastle have won their last 3 matches against Manchester United.
Yeah, Licha Martinez. I think he will return in the squad. He did now some sessions with us, and we plan him to be available when this afternoon everything's going right. In the training, he will return in the squad, and then for some other players we have to see. Rashford, Bruno, Willy, Kampala, if they are fit. Yeah, it's clear. It's a very important game. Look at the ranking. Yeah. So yeah, it's very important to get the win. Yeah, we have to put everything in it to get the win, and we have to fight hard for it.
Now, central defender Raphael Varane will leave Manchester United at the end of the season after 3 years at the Premier League club. 31-year-old Varane joined United in 2021 after 10 years at Real Madrid. He's made 67 league appearances for the English side and helped them win the League Cup in 2023. A muscle injury has kept Varane out of action since April, but he hopes to be available again before United end their season in the FA Cup final against Manchester City on the 25th of May. 8th place United have their last home game of the season on Wednesday against Newcastle United. And now to discuss more on this, I'm joined by DD India's correspondent Ollie Barrett from London. A very good evening from India. Ollie, now ManCity emerges even stronger with one step closer towards their 4th Premier League title. They are just a game away. Can Manchester City do it this time as well?
Well, all of the recent statistics and data and experience and the eye test tells you that they probably will. Manchester City now know, as you say, that as long as they win that final game against West Ham, they will be champions again. The precedent is pretty clear as well. It's very, very rare indeed for a club to win the Premier League title going into the final day of the season, not ahead in the league. So City are well placed on all fronts, really, to do that. That's not to say that West Ham, that final game, is necessarily an easy one. It will be the final game in charge for David Moyes at West Ham, so an incentive for him to come away with a final victory, but it looks very, very difficult indeed for West Ham. It looks like Manchester City will be strong favourites for that game, and therefore you have to say that they are strong favourites to take the title as well. They have Erling Haaland in good goal-scoring form, even if, as you say, it wasn't a vintage performance in their penultimate game. But Manchester City, yes, now strong favourites for the final game, strong favourites to retain their title again.
Also, Ollie, when we talk about the match, on the other hand, concerns have once again risen about Manchester United. Many believe that they are already a gone case. What led to their decline, and are there any hopes left of their revival, Ollie?
Well, Deepika, we can absolutely trace the decline of Manchester United in many ways back to the departure of Alex Ferguson. They have never been the same since the greatest manager in their history left the club, and there have been varying levels of success or otherwise for all of the managers and indeed the playing squads that have followed that moment. Now, exactly why that is the case is very much up for debate. A lot of Manchester United fans would point the finger of blame at the ownership, the American Glazer family, that they feel has not invested properly in various elements of the club. They have spent a lot of money on the first team squad over the years, but has that recruitment been done in a joined up way? Have they hired the right managers? Have they had the structures in place at the club to make sure that they can be successful? A lot of fans would tell you that they have not been. In more recent history, Erik ten Hag, certainly the current Manchester United manager, would absolutely point you towards an injury crisis. He's had very little resources to draw on in recent games. But again, the other side of that coin is that many supporters and analysts would say that actually, if you look at the way that Erik ten Hag has been setting up this season, they've been lacking midfield cover for the defence. They've been trying to play transition football, perhaps not with the right team members, squad members, to carry out exactly the style of football that Erik ten Hag wants to play. But as I say, there are very many reasons and explanations for Manchester United being in the spot that they currently find themselves in. One of the things that Manchester United fans are now debating as we head into the final games of the season for that club is whether or not it would be worth being in the Europa Conference League, the UEFA Conference League, as opposed to the Europa League. They're obviously not going to make Champions League now, but the Conference League, is that the kind of competition that Manchester United would like to be in next season, or would in many ways it be better for Manchester United to be able to rebuild and just focus on the Premier League without any European football next season, given that the Conference League isn't as high profile as the Europa League, or obviously the Champions League one step above that? That's a very live debate at the moment. The new part ownership of the club, led by Ineos and Jim Ratcliffe, obviously have ambitions for Manchester United above where they are at the moment. But as for why Manchester United find themselves in this very tricky spot, lots of reasons going back lots of years.
Thank you so much, Ollie, for joining us and bringing us a rounded perspective on team's performance and what future holds for Man United. Now, Croatia under-21 and Hamburg defender Mario Vuskovic has challenged his ban for taking blood booster EPO at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. The 22-year-old, who was handed a 2-year suspension last year by German Football Association, said he's innocent. However, in a cross-appeal, the German anti-doping agency and the World Anti-Doping Agency say the 2-year ban should be increased to 4 years now. Vuskovic joined Hamburg in 2021, but he failed a drug test in November 2022. And now in Sports Bus, it's time to get you all the latest from the world of Indian Premier League. Now, Rajasthan Royals will take on Punjab Kings in Guwahati on Wednesday. Royals have confirmed their place in the playoffs already, and they come into the contest on the back of 3 consecutive losses as well. Now, the Royals will be without the services of Jos Buttler, who has returned to England to gear up for the upcoming T20 Cricket World Cup. They are currently at the 2nd spot in the points table. On the other hand, Punjab Kings are out of reckoning in the tournament as they hold the bottom place. They will play for their pride today. Delhi Capitals, on the other hand, kept their playoff dreams alive with a 19-run victory over Lucknow Super Giants in New Delhi. Tristan Stubbs and Abhishek Porel guided Delhi Capitals to a big total of 208 for the loss of 4 wickets. And in chase, Lucknow Super Giants could only manage 189 for the loss of 9 despite half-centuries from Nicholas Pooran and Arshad Khan. Pacer Ishant Sharma rocked Super Giants inside the power play, picking 3 wickets and leaving the Lucknow pace franchisee struggling at 4 for 44. The pacer dismissed KL Rahul, Quinton de Kock and Deepak Hooda early in the innings. Arshad Khan then threatened to close the game with his 33-ball 58, but it wasn't enough for Super Giants to get 2 points. Delhi Capitals will now have to depend on other results in order to qualify for the playoffs, while Super Giants still have a game in hand, but their net run rate can prove to be a big problem for them. Now, Rishabh Pant expressed gratitude after playing his final league game of the IPL 2024 season. He played his first competitive fixture since a life-threatening incident in December 2022. He finished the league stage as Delhi Capitals' highest run scorer with 446 runs from 13 matches at a strike rate of 155.4. Now, along the way, he earned a place in India's T20 Cricket World Cup squad. Pant, after his 19-run victory, said, and I quote his statement here, "I think personally it was fantastic to come back on the field. The kind of support I got from whole of India, I would say, was heartening to see. Wherever I went to play, I got support from each and every person, and that was really good to see," unquote. Staying on cricket, the Board of Control for Cricket in India announced that the schedule for the upcoming South Africa Women's All-Format Tour of India. So India will host Africa for 3 ODIs, 1 Test and 3 T20 internationals. The home series will commence with ODIs in Bengaluru, scheduled for the 16th, 19th and 23rd of June. Now, the ODIs are a part of the 2022-25 ICC Women's Championship. The action will then shift to Chennai, which will first host the 4-day test from 28th June till the 1st of July, followed by the T20 International Series. The International Cricket Council and Cricket West Indies on Tuesday said that there will be no reserve day for the second semi-final of the T20 Cricket World Cup, which is to be played in Guyana. However, they have allotted an additional time of 250 minutes of the 2020 World Cup to ensure that the match ends that day. So the first semi-final in Trinidad on the 26th of June, and it starts at 8:30 p.m. as per the local time. And the organisers have allocated a reserve day for that game. And should there be rain in Trinidad, the match will then spill over to the 27th of June. The second semi-final will start in Guyana at 10:30 a.m. local time on 27th June, and the match will have to be finished on the same day. The ICC has allotted another 250 minutes for the game. That means the umpires can wait for about 8 hours to finish the T20 match. Now, the 28th of June will be the travel day and the final will be placed on the 29th of June. More on cricket, Pakistan sealed 3-match T20 series against Ireland, clinching a 6-wicket victory in the third T20 on Tuesday. Ireland scored 178 for 7 in 20 overs. Pakistan chased down the target in 17 overs. Ireland stunned the men in green in the first T20 international. However, they failed to defend 193 in the second T20I as Pakistan chased down the total with more than 3 overs to spare. Now, Pakistan will play England in a T20 international series, their final tournament before the T20 Cricket World Cup. The men in green have won the T20 World Cup only once in 2009, beating Sri Lanka in the finals. The Pakistan Cricket Board on Tuesday announced that former Indian coach and South African legend Gary Kirsten will start his 2-year stint as the head coach of Pakistan men's national team on the 19th of May in Leeds. This will give him 3 days with the players and other members of the coaching staff before the first game of the 4-match T20I series against England at Headingley on the 22nd of May. The series will be Pakistan's last before the T20 Cricket World Cup in the Caribbean and the USA, where they begin their campaign with a game against USA in Dallas on the 6th of June. Before his duty start, Kirsten in a statement said, and I quote a statement here, "These are indeed thrilling times for Pakistan cricket with a new administration and players who are driven to deliver solid results. The upcoming ICC Men's T20 World Cup presents a fantastic opportunity for us to showcase our skills and uphold Pakistan's legacy as a formidable force in cricket. However, success will require collective effort, meticulous planning and unwavering support for one another. With 19 other teams vying for the title, we must consistently outperform our rivals to realize our aspirations," unquote. He further said that on a personal level, "I've missed the experience of coaching at the international level and nurturing talented players to reach their full potential. I am committed to working closely with the team to elevate their game and bring joy to the fans around the world," unquote. Moving on, a Tokyo Olympian Manu Bhaker and Paris quota holder Vijayveer Sidhu have won the 4th and final Olympic selection trial in 25-meter pistol event. Manu Bhaker shot a world record equaling 42 in women's 25-meter pistol T4 final, while Vijayveer shot 34 in the decider of the men's 25-meter rapid-fire pistol T4 to emerge as triumphant. Manu was the only shooter among the selected 5 to have not gone below 580 in the qualification round even once. In the men's RFP final, Vijayveer took the lead after the second 5-shot series and held on until the 8th and final series to register his first outright victory in the trials. Moving on to badminton, Indian shuttlers Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty kicked off their campaign at Thailand Open Badminton Tournament with a thumping victory. The top-seeded Indian pair, who are one of the favourites to win the tournament, trounced Malaysian pair of Noor Mohammad Azreen Ayub and Tan Wee Huang by 21-13 and 21-13 in straight game sets. Satvik and Chirag will play the Chinese pair of Shi Huaonan and Zheng Weiguan in the next round. The duo have struggled a tad lately, and the tournament offers them a perfect platform to fine-tune their skills ahead of the upcoming Paris Olympics. Meanwhile, Indian top shuttler and last year's Thailand Open men's singles semi-finalist Lakshya Sen pulled out of this year's tournament. On the other hand, two-time Olympic medalist PV Sindhu has also decided to withdraw from the Thailand Open in order to focus on the upcoming Paris Olympics. Indian shuttler HS Pranoy suffered a first-round exit as he lost to qualifier round Mirabu Luwang Maisnam at the Thailand Open Super 500 in Bangkok on Wednesday. Maisnam made quick work of the 5th-seeded Indian as the world number 84 won the match by 21-19, 21-18 in 31 minutes. We are moving for a short break, but still to come on DD India Sports Bus. Coco Gauff advances to Italian Open semi-finals. And all you need to know about Schumacher's watches that garnered over $4 million in auction.
Tracking the 5th phase of general elections, Team Poll Pulse has reached the financial capital of India, Mumbai. In this phase, 13 seats are up for grabs in Maharashtra, including 6 in Mumbai. In the last 2 years, the political equation of Maharashtra have dramatically changed after a split between the two major regional parties, Shiv Sena and the NCP. As campaigning peaks, there are now 6 principal political players in the fray. Join us as we track the pulse of Indian democracy. Watch Poll Pulse on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Sports Buzz with me, Deepika. Now, the Indo-Australian duo of Rohan Bopanna and Matthew Aibden crashed out of the Italian Open. The Indo-Australian pair lost in straight sets by 2-6 and 4-6 to the Italian duo of Simon Bolelli and Andre Vavasori in the pre-quarterfinals. The duo conceded 5 break points, and that turned out to be a crucial factor in the context of the game, and latest defeat extends their struggles to 3 tournaments now. They have been unable to find their rhythm on the slower surface, and their struggles are a cause for concern as the French Open approaches. The duo has a strong start to the season, and they claim the Australian Open and Miami Open titles on hard courts as well. However, their teamwork seems to have faltered on clay courts this time. American Tommy Paul upset second seed and defending champion Daniel Medvedev in Rome to advance to the Italian Open quarter-final round. The 14th seed needed just an hour and 14 minutes to ease past his Russian opponent by 6-1 and 6-4 and set up a last 8 meeting with Poland's Hubert Hurkacz. German third seed Alexander Zverev beat Portugal's Nuno Borges by 6-2 and 7-5 and will next face American Taylor Fritz, who claimed a 6-2, 6-7, 6-1 victory over Grigor Dimitrov of Bulgaria. Alejandro Tabilo came out on top in a close match against Karen Khachanov of Russia, with Chilean winning 7-6, 7-6 to set up an encounter with China's Zhang Zichen, who beat Diego Monteiro of Brazil by 7-6 and 6-3. The final quarter-final places were filled by Stefan Tsitsipas and Nicolas Jarry. Staying on tennis, American Coco Gauff scored her first top 10 victory of the season in the quarterfinals of the Italian Open on Tuesday night in Rome. She defeated number 7 seed and Australian Open finalist Zheng Qinfen by 7-6 and 6-1. Two-time champion Iga Swiatek eased into the Italian Open semi-finals with a 6-1, 6-3 victory over 8th seed Madison Keys. Swiatek will face American third seed Coco Gauff for a spot in the final. The quarter-final in Rome was a repeat of Swiatek's recent semi-final clash with America's Keys in Madrid that ended with the same scoreline. Swiatek is aiming to win her 4th title this year, having already won the Qatar Open, Indian Wells and the Madrid Open. A collection of watches belonging to legendary former Formula One driver Michael Schumacher sold for around $4.4 million at Christie's auction in Geneva. The collection of 8 watches that include timepieces by the watchmakers Rolex, F.P. Journe and Audemars Piguet were put up on sale by Schumacher's family. The F1 great in 2013 suffered a severe head injury in a fall while skiing. A custom-made FV watch with an engraved message and that was given to Schumacher as a Christmas present by his Ferrari team principal John Todt sold for around $1.6 million.
Great result in the current market. Michael Schumacher's collection sold for around 4 million. All of the watch sold from the Michael Schumacher collection. So we're absolutely delighted about this. The top lot of the sale was the Vagabondage François Paul Journe wristwatch, a unique wristwatch made for Michael Schumacher. It sold for around 1.5 million Swiss franc, buyer's commission included, followed by another François Paul Journe tourbillon, and then the Audemars Piguet wristwatch, Royal Oak wristwatch, which as well, was a great result, selling for over 400,000 Swiss franc.
Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk officially arrived in Riyadh on Tuesday, making their grand rivals ahead of Saturday's undisputed heavyweight championship of the world title fight. Tensions were raised on Monday after Fury's father had butted a member of Usyk's entourage in a bloody clash at a media day. Billed as the Ring of Fire, the fight will unify Britain's Fury's WBC heavyweight championship with WBA IBF, WBO and IBO belts held by Ukrainian Usyk. Both are undefeated professionals.
This fight is the biggest boxing event of the 21st century. You've got two heavyweights, the best heavyweights in the world, facing each other. Undefeated. They own the 4 belts between them. On the night, there's only going to be one guy who's going to be the baddest person on the planet in Riyadh. The whole world is going to see history on the 18th of May. Everybody will remember where they were when they watched this fight, whether it was live in Riyadh, in this beautiful city, or whether they were watching it around the world. But one thing's for sure, they will never forget, because it's this historic moment, not just in boxing, but in world sport. The heavyweight champion of the world, the #1 heavyweight, has always been the most famous sportsman on the planet.
And that's all for this edition of DD India Sports Pass. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on Sports Buzz and DD India, especially from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you so much for watching Sports Buzz. Namaskar.